Find Me Attractive, Blue Therapy, Season 1, Episode 4, Recap and Review. Are y'all ready? Let's do it. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my nieces and nephews, and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for auntie advice. Sweet old. It's time for auntie advice. Oh, yeah. It's time for auntie advice. Welcome, Tammy, Kenan, one to the family. Welcome, Tammy. Welcome. Hello there, Mitchie Music. Hey, sweetie. Y'all got a treat from me this weekend. Yes, y'all do, members. Oh my goodness. I miss being with y'all. Oh my God. Welcome, Tammy. Hello there, Raydella. Hey, JW. Raydella says, welcome, cousins. Ring that doorbell. Hit that thumbs up on your way into Auntie's house. Hey there, JW1063. Y'all, we are almost done. Hello there, TR Payne 617. Hello there, Sugar. How are you doing? Oh, Sugar. Y'all, we are almost at the end of this series that I have been trying to cover every day, and other things have gotten in the way. Okay. Yes, they have. Let me highlight y'all. Welcome for coming in. Love to see y'all there. Hey, JW. Okay, y'all, let's get into it, okay? Without further ado, because we all got something to do tomorrow, don't we, y'all? It's called getting your going to work. Okay, so let me bring up my notes, and we're going to get into this again. This is episode 4. Do you even find me attractive? I'm hoping that you all have been enjoying this series. It has absolutely been a challenge for me, and I'm always up. God, what I do with it? Up for a challenge. So let's get into it. I'm going to bring up the couples, or at least a snippet or a picture of the couples as we go through them. Let me find these two. I know I got them somewhere here. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start this with the order in which the episode goes. So they go couple by couple, right? And yeah, we get an opportunity to meet everybody. Hold on one second. It's getting late. I need some water. I gotta lubricate these lips. As you all know, I'm always using my Fenty Skin. This is cherry something, right? I think that's what it's called. Let me look. Barbados cherry is what I always put on my lips every time. Y'all see my little lips popping like this. Unless I got on MAC, okay? So if you're interested, I will drop a link to it down in the comment section. I mean, in the description box for y'all. If y'all are interested, I'll tag the product. And the only reason why I say that is because a lot of times y'all ask me, okay? So we open this up where Shay is beginning to acknowledge, right, that her communication has been a major issue in her and Mon's relationship. She tells Mon she knows she hasn't been good at communicating, right? And so she says that she's trying to improve on that, but explains that change is a process. Okay. So she goes on to say, I'm trying. Maybe I'm not doing it perfectly, but I'm trying. I haven't been good at communicating with you. I know that is a working process. things aren't going to happen overnight. And so she asks Mon how they can stay in a relationship while she works on improving. I think she's just saying enough to keep the girl around for a while. I'm not sure why she is staying in this relationship when it is obvious that she likes the attention that she gets from other women. And she's just a flirt at heart and a whore at the core. So I need to put that on the shirt. A flirt at the heart and a whore at the core. Anyway, that's my opinion. So she responds by Mom responds by explaining that her biggest fear is returning to the same place they were at in before, at the same place they were at before. She said that her biggest worry is she just don't need to go back there. But she understands that rebuilding trust will take time. Shay does, and that she needs something from her in the meantime. And she explains that what she needs a little bit more reassurance. And she tells her this by saying, I know I'm asking for a lot, but I need an extra bit of trust. Otherwise, we can't keep doing this. And the thing about it is trust is earned, it's not given. It is not something that you're going to dictate to somebody about, what you're going to do and what they're going to do and how people respond. You cannot control how people respond. I don't care how good you are at manipulating, control, and dominating. You just can't tell people how to feel at their core. I don't see why this couple is together, but they are, and I'm just going to just shut the up about it and talk about our next couple. Now, this is our first time seeing Carmen and Junior. And I thought at first, or at first sight when I saw him, he like one of those type of guys where him being handsome and attractive sneak up on your ass. Because when I first saw that blue head sitting up on the top of his dome, I was like, what the whole what is going on? It's got the audacity to be thin. I made sure that I picked a picture where it looked better to me, and that was with it up. So Carmen and Junior, they begin reflecting on how their relationship started. Carmen explained that she felt she had fallen in love with Junior at a friend's birthday party, and the couple now shared three children, two girls and a boy. Junior speaks warmly about his fatherhood, right, by saying that being a dad means the world to him. And when he thinks of his family unit, his heart feels warm about it. Carmen describes Junior as someone that everybody likes and everybody loves. She calls him an amazing father and says that he can be an incredible husband if and when he want to. Now, I added that part on it. Dang, you say that, but I did. But she then goes on to explain that over time they have began arguing frequently, quite frequently, right, with each other. And Junior's career as a DJ has required him to travel and tour with major artists, which often keeps him away from the home for long periods of times. And so she admits that right now in their relationship that they are struggling. She says, I love my husband and he loves me, but that wasn't enough to keep us together. Eventually, they separated, right, for 2 years. Now, mind you, they got three kids. He feels like he is one of those alpha males in a relationship. And after that separation, they reconciled and decided to recommit to both of their relationship and their friend and their family. And so now they have come to this therapy session, right, blue therapy, because their communication problems have resurfaced again. Now, this couple is deep. It goes deeper than I think some of these other couples because there's some real issues that are being discussed in this with this couple. You know, before I tell you what is really going on with them, I just want to kind of set the screen right. I mean, set the scene. They always talk about, and it's always been controversial for years, a woman's right to choose. on what she wants to do with her body, how she wants to do it, when she wants to do it. That has always been an issue about what rights do women have to choose for their own autonomy and their own bodies and all that kind of stuff, right? That's always been an issue. But in this couple's dynamic, it's the opposite. He believes that a man has the right to choose, and he makes decisions for his family that she is not in agreement with. Matter of fact, you all going to find as we continue in this dialogue that he made a decision that affected their life and their family for the rest of their life, supposedly, allegedly, right? So he says that they have issues communicating with one another. He said that they're not understanding each other and they're not listening to each other. And then he says, mainly, she's not listening to me. He said that he never wants their relationship to return to the place where they nearly destroyed their family. So the therapist asked them, why did they even decide to come to her? And so Carmen says that their relationship has had many ups and downs and that they want to improve it. She says that the biggest problem for her is the communication between the two of them. She goes on to explain that she often feels unheard and believes that Junior does not take her seriously. He interrupts her and says, whenever I'm speaking, she never lets me speak. She always chimes in. And we saw a little bit, just a smidget of that, right, during their therapy session. Carmen responds that she doesn't feel taken seriously when it comes to the small decisions. She says, I don't feel like you even take me seriously. Junior says that recently their communication has deteriorated into either constant bickering or they just not talking at all. It's complete silence between the two of them. And so Carmen goes on to explain that the problem originally escalated about 5 years ago when they separated. She says that they reached that point because their arguments became constant, consistent, and their communication just broke all the way down. And now she fears that they are heading right back into that same direction. So the therapist asked them to describe what led to the separation. So Carmen says that they were not getting along on any level whatsoever. Now, okay, their communication had become real toxic between the two of them and they clashed constantly, probably over little small stuff. They didn't go like really into detail about, why it's constantly, but you'll hear a little bit of it as we continue this discussion. She also admits that she was unhappy because she wanted to expand their family, while Junior wanted to plan more carefully before having another child. Y'all, in the reverses role, the roles reversed on this. This is usually an argument of a woman. This is his arguments. They were asked whether they processed the breakup together after reconciling. Both admit they never really did. Junior goes on, honey, to talk about the moment his son was born. He recalls rushing into the hospital and suddenly feeling a strong need to be there for his family. And so the therapist clarifies the timeline and asks when the baby was conceived. They both went on to explain that their son was conceived during a brief period when they attempted to reconcile while still technically living in separate homes. They both agreed to have the baby. And Junior says that when Carmen told him that she was pregnant, it felt like chaos was happening in his life. But then when his son was born, everything suddenly felt calm. So he was like, it was a massive blessing. He really brought the family back together. But as we all know, who are grown and sexy, that kids don't bring the family back together. It has to be the couple. The kid ain't got nothing to do with it. Okay. So, when I hear stuff like that, I'm just thinking to myself, oh no, we need to really sit down and talk and learn some things, right? Because this is not the baby that is going to be the glue of a family. And if it is, it's built with a lot of contention and resentment and arguments like they having right now. But the therapist said that they both got deep wounds, right, from the past, that they have a whole lot of stuff that remains unresolved. So Junior then reveals that he is still hurt that Carmen asked him for a divorce on his birthday. Now, this has happened years ago. The two of them, like I said, have reconciled with one another. But honey, he is still stuck on the fact that she waited until his birthday to ask him for a divorce. I think that even if that was me, as tough as I am, right, or I try to be, I'm a sweetie pie for real. But I think that that would have bothered me too because your birthday gonna come every year. You remember the good and the bad of it, and nobody wants to have someone ask them on their birthday instead of celebrating their life, they're destroying their life. That's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all's is downtown in the comment section. And he said that, when she asked him for the divorce, he didn't even see it coming. He went on to say that he always believed that Carmen was his soulmate, and he assumed that they would work through all of their problems and their issues, right? But after the divorce conversation, he packed his belongings and moved out the house. And being separated from his children, he said, was just, devastating for him because he is a family man. And he said it sent him into a dark emotional period. The counselor went on to ask Carmen what was happening at for her at that time, and she explained that she had discovered something that really made her uncomfortable in the relationship. She believed that Junior had been communicating with someone in a flirtatious way. And she said that she had simply reached her breaking point with him. But she admits that the flirting was not the only issue that she was having with him. By the time that their relationship had already deteriorated due to constant fighting and toxic communication. And so Junior was like, this is a lot of the things that he is doing is based on his cultural background, and divorce is extremely serious. He said, where I'm from, there's no such thing as breaking up once you built a family. But Carmen, of course, not being of his culture, disagreed, saying that sometimes certain issues become deal breakers in the relationship. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that and what may be some of your deal breakers, when you're going through or in a relationship going through tough times and stuff like that. What is a deal breaker for you? What is a non-negotiable? Let me know downtown in the chat. Junior says that the part he cannot move past is why Carmen choose to raise divorce, on his birthday and during his celebration. But she continued to explain that it was not her intention to hurt him on that day. Bullshit. That's some bull. I don't believe that at all. I believe that that was a conscious decision to just put the nail in the coffin and get the final got you on them. That's on me. So the therapist tells them if Junior cannot process that moment emotionally, right, if he can't get over it, it will continue to block their growth. And the therapist explains that their previous relationships happened when they were younger, and now they need to build a more mature version of their partnership when both of them good and got daggone grown. These are not little kids that we talking to. So they got excuse me, a homework assignment with 3 questions. And those questions were, when do you feel most appreciated by me? What do you miss most about how we used to connect? And what is one small thing I can do this week to help you feel seen? Yeah. What y'all think about that? Have y'all even been watching this show? Because I'm telling you, it has been good. I know we behind the 8 ball, but we ain't got to do everything when everybody else doing. We're going to take our time and walk through each other. The next one is Dami and Jermaine. The therapist revisits the session that they had before. The work-life balance, inequity in responsibilities, and both of them feeling undervalued in this relationship. She asked Dami how she felt about the previous conversation, and she says that there were many issues that they need to fix, but she is willing to work on them with her husband. Okay, it's pretty obvious that the two of them are really in this relationship and they really do love each other. They just got a whole lot of issues that they need to work on. I don't believe that she saw it coming. I think that she saw her life differently, but I don't believe that he did. I believe that he was always ambitious. He wanted a family, but he wanted to make sure that she was submissive to him and understanding, and gave him the time. He said in the last episode that he has a plan on retiring and sitting down in the next 8 years, and that he's going to be the family man. But again, as I said in my last review, y'all make sure y'all check that out, that you can't assume that people going to be waiting around for you when you get yourself together. It's almost like the same thing, like with a drug addict or something like that, right? They want you to sit around and wait for them until they get themselves together. They make a whole lot of empty and broken promises, and and the heart gets weary, right? And you be like, I'm the hell up out of here. I'm out of here. She was asked, right, about their previous conversation, and she said there's so many issues that they need to fix. She asked Jermaine, right, how did he feel about the last session, and he said that he admits that initially he felt like both women in the room, the therapist and Dami, was siding against him. He said he felt like he was being ganged up on, and the therapist asked whether he felt he was given a space to speak, and he admitted that he was. But he said, I'm a young black man in a predominantly white country. I'm a minority. And he explains that because he experiences that, and it sometimes makes him feel misunderstood. He tells them that although she may try to understand his perspective, she has never walked in his shoes, and he's never walked in hers. And it's obvious he ain't willing to, because she's sitting up there complaining about how he ain't taking care of the kids. So the therapist asked him, in what areas of his life does he feel most alone? And he said that he often keeps his emotions to himself. He believes that Dami sometimes fails to understand how much he internalizes. Oh, she know. And she wants you to come to her. That's just an assumption on my part based on how I am, right? But I'm talking for her now, I guess. Okay. So she responds by remembering a time when their relationship felt closer. She said that when they first met, it felt like, two of them were united against the world. Now she feels that closeness has faded due to his work, the children, and the business responsibility that she believes that he puts in front of her. And so the therapist asks him, right, whether he realizes that while he may be working hard for the family could still break down if emotional connection disappears. And Dabby admits that sometimes Jermaine behaves as if she is monitoring him like a parent. And she says that when he promises to be home at a certain time and fails to communicate delays, it creates frustration in their relationship. She also explained that a woman in Jermaine's office child is regularly making him coffee and appears all the time to be excited to see him. Now, y'all know that's an issue downtown at the office. I was a bitch would. She may be making the coffee, but I would sure be pouring the creamer. That's what I see. But he said that the relationship is purely professional. And she was like, I heard you, Jermaine, when you be complimenting her and talking about she makes the best coffee. And she's wondering whether or not she makes the best coffee and got the best cream and sugar. She wondering whether or not there's some stuff that's going on outside of that office. But he insists it is only about the coffee and her work performance. And the therapist asked him, so let me ask you a question, Jermaine. Suppose the situation was reversed. He said he wouldn't like it at all. Then cut this. You need to cut it. Cut it. Cut it. Cut it. He need to cut it. Touche. That's what I say. Touche. So Dami says what bothers her the most is that the coworker receives the positive, relaxed side of Jermaine, while she receives the stressed version of him at home. And then the therapist, concluded that the central issue appears to be Jermaine's absence and lack of presence at home, and that damn person that's making that coffee. Come on there, therapist. Let's get into it. And the bitch that's down there making the good coffee. Let's talk about it. Don't nobody want their husband coming home from work talk about she making the best coffee and all this kind of stuff. Is that cold? Y'all let me know if y'all would be concerned about it. No. Please feel free to watch. We got a couple of more episodes. TR Payne 617. And by the time you listen to this and you go hit on the Netflix and pull it up and listen, you'll be ready for the next review and recap. And then you can join into the conversation, honey. Because I know how it is, child, to be sitting up on somebody's live and they talking about something you don't know shit about it. So you know what, you got time. We got a couple of more episodes, like I said, and we would love to have you over here downtown in the discussion and not listening, okay? But you go ahead on the listen, so you'll be ready, right? While you looking at it, all of my little thoughts and stuff like that will be coming to your mind, okay, boo? Welcome, sweetie. Make sure you got your notification bells on, okay? So she gave them a homework assignment to recreate one of their early memorable dates from when their relationship felt strong. And her goal is to see whether revisiting that experience can reconnect them emotionally back to one another. Child, I ain't got it to do. I ain't got it to do. I ain't got it to do. The next couple that just burns my is Maria and Victor. She starts talking to them about their family, specifically Victor's relationship with her family. So the therapist, explained that the issues may appear small on the surface, but that it represents a deeper dive between the couple and Maria's family. Maria goes on to explain that her sister strongly disapproves of Victor. The sister has criticized his ass for not financially supporting her family. Victor jumped in and said that those comments made him feel like two people were attacking him. Bitch, if you don't sit down, see, I be trying to get through these and not be cussing and stuff like that. I think I've been doing a pretty good job lately. But he's the type of person that'll make me just sit down and just go off on him. Because the stuff that he's saying is like borderline looking like something else anyway. He said he feels pressure to marry Maria so that she can just simply satisfy her family. So she don't want this outside her family. She don't want to be married to you after 7 years. This got to be her mama and her daddy's agenda. They want what's best for their daughter. And they want her to be with a man that loves her enough to commit himself to her. People always try to downplay marriage and say it's just a certificate. No, it's much more than that. He said that marriage should happen just because should not happen just because others want it. While Maria goes on to explain that Victor originally believed her family would be welcoming, but now he feels excluded. He should. He should not ever feel comfortable at nary Thanksgiving dinner, Easter, Mama's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, bitch Thanksgiving. I don't care when it is. It could be today, St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. I did have on my green today. He should never feel comfortable because he does not respect her culture. The therapist even asked him whether cultural expectations play a role. Maria said that in Nigeria, their culture, the younger people are expected to show deep respect for the elders. She says that she once told Victor that when meeting her parents, he should kneel and bow his head and show respect. And he said, fuck that. He said he don't believe in respect. He said he don't think that it should be automatic. It shouldn't be based on the age. And the therapist asked Maria what she wants from Victor. Maria says she wants him to place their relationship first. But Victor believes that Maria continues prioritizing her family over him. What family? You talking about those people? Remember he called her family those people? She explains that her relationship with her family has deteriorated because Victor interprets her visits to them as betrayal to him. This is the stupidest. Okay, Auntie, take your emotions out of it. God dang it, take your emotions out of it. This is just so stupid. She's the stupidest girl I've seen. Because when he spin around on the back of his got heels and walk out of you, all you're going to have is your family. Now, I'm not saying that you should break up with somebody because they don't necessarily get along with your family, but it's the whole culture of the thing. If this is how you were raised up and these are your customs and stuff like that, why is it that he feels like he can't, Auntie? I'm trying not to go off. I am trying to do this intelligently. I am trying not to go off. Like I am trying my best. Hey, TR Payne, I am trying my best not to go off. But if she is not making him respect her cultures and her family, that he can act like this because she has given him permission to disrespect her family, to disrespect her custom. And I'm almost feeling like I don't feel sorry for her at all. She is continuing to support this, lay up in the bed with this man, and he calling her family these people. I'm going to tell you right now, I ain't going to never forget he said that. He said it. She didn't say he said it. The therapist didn't say he said it. He said it. And that goes a long way. Because I ain't going to never forget that you called me these people. Those people. What does that mean? In my culture, it means something totally different than what he may have meant to. He realized he slipped up at the tongue and tried to turn it around. But no, I heard what the you said. The therapist asked Victor, how does he feel? How is how does he deal with feeling disrespect? He says he turns those feelings into motivation to be a complete and total a-hole, in my opinion. He said he uses that to fuel, to prove people wrong. When asked when he first developed this mindset, he revealed that his parents divorced and he also often felt misunderstood growing up. He says that he had to defend himself emotionally because he felt alone. And so now he's isolating her from her family. He's doing to her what he's felt in his life. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. What is he doing? He don't want her to give her parents any money. He doesn't want her to honor their culture of doing that for their parents. He doesn't want to respect them. He don't want to go to the parents' house. He don't want to be around them. He don't with her sister, and her sister don't with him. He's isolating her just like he felt isolated in his family. But how's that working out for him? Because he is still a grown man and still got childhood hurts that he has not dealt with, neither has he resolved. The therapist said that it's a survival instinct. I totally disagree with that. That ain't got shit to do with survival. However, the therapist asked does Victor does not allow himself to be vulnerable with Maria. She said, are you not vulnerable with her? The person that means the most to you? And he says that he believes leaders must appear strong. Appear strong. Appear is a word. You wanted to appear strong, but actually you weak. You want to give off the appearance of, but not the truth of what it really is. She challenges that belief and suggests that vulnerability might actually create respect. He don't care whether he got this girl's respect. He just want her to obey. Maria explains that she processes her emotions by writing poetry, and the therapist asks her to share one with him. I wouldn't share nothing with that mother. Okay, I gotta calm down. I gotta calm down. Because I know y'all can tell, y'all that been with me for a while, y'all know it's a whole lot of stuff I want to say. A whole lot of ways I want to cuss him out. Mike and Yasmin, they returned to therapy town after she done found out he redundant and some more stuff. Ain't got no job, lying and worrying about whether or not she attracted to him. So of course the therapist asked them, what's happened since they last met with her. And Mike says that he revealed during the last session that he had been made redundant and unemployed for about 20 months. Almost 2 years, and you going out the house Monday through Friday, acting as if you're going to work, and but you're going around a corner, only to wait for me and your child to leave the house and come back in and eat grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup and organic fruits and vegetables. Y'all gotta let me get myself together. He admits the experience was difficult for him to discuss. He says that the previous session left him feeling as if they had more problems afterward than before. Yeah, because she had been under the impression that there was one thing going on where you are hiding that there's other things going on. He says that he does not want therapy to become a place where he is constantly attacked, because you don't want to get down to the root of the tutor of it all. But Yasmin went on to explain that since the session, she felt uncomfortable and uncertain about Mike's honesty and his ability to be honest. She says that the revelation about his finances has created doubt in her, and rightfully so. The therapist then points out that trust has clearly been broken, and the couple then completes a communication exercise where they read statements they previously wrote. So Yasmin started it all. She tells Mike she needs consistent support in their daily life, not only during difficult moments. She says that the daily responsibility of running the house feel overwhelming to her, and Mike responds that he is using most of his mental energy to find a job. No, motherfucker, you using your energy to get up, wash your ass in the morning, brush your teeth, get your coffee or your tea together, get in the car and ride around the corner and lay low. Find what job? You said you've been living off your severance package. Now, here we are, you projecting and deflecting and making this about everybody else but your sorry. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video. Because you may know some friends and some family members that need to listen to this book that ain't never seen Netflix, don't want to pay the extra money for it. You make sure you share this video and this series. Have a discussion with your girlfriends and your boyfriends. Turn me on a television or on your cell phone. Thank you, y'all. Please and thank you. Yasmin explained that she is working full time while also caring for their son and managing the household. Mike says that he feels resentful when his efforts are dismissed. What efforts, mother? I don't know if I missed it, but I ain't hear nothing that he said that he is taking the slack off of her, that he is standing up as a stand-up kind of guy. And remember, you all, he has another child. He said that when he comes home, he wishes he would first be greeted. Bitch, you ain't, all you did was circle the block. The delusion. He really think he going to work. When you come home, you want to be greeted? Bitch, you didn't go nowhere but from the sofa to the car, from the car to the sofa. What are you doing? Are you kidding me? Just to kind of, boo, you need to be sleeping with one eye open and sitting up in a chair. And I ain't talking about a lazy boy or a chair that even slightly recline. I'm talking about sitting straight up with the lie that's being told here and the audacity for him to say, I want to be greeted when I first come home. Like this mother is going to work. You know, it probably wasn't his fault that he got made redundant. But what he doesn't realize is that he made her feel redundant. Yasmin says she be exhausted and overstimulated. She tells Mike to go ahead and read his little written statement. Mike admits that finally telling the truth about his financial situation damaged Yasmin's trust. He asks her to give him some grace while he rebuilds. But Yasmin says she worries about Mike's spending habits and will continue and force her to always maintain a financial backup plan. Mike then reads another statement about the intimacy. He says he feels his need for affection and physical connection are not being met. And so the therapist asked Yasmin whether there may be a reason why she feels like she don't want to be with his ass. And Yasmin said, hell yeah, I feel overwhelmed by my responsibilities that he ain't helping me with. She said if he was helping me with this, maybe he might get more physical attraction from me. And then Mike admits that sometimes when he helps her around the house, he expects intimacy afterwards. You talk about a selfish lover. This is what you call a selfish lover. Everything is about her catering to him. So let me hit this again from G Debo. He's a jerk. He's a hoe, in my humble opinion. He a hoe. A selfish a-hole. And these are my opinions. May not be actual, may not be factual, but they're my opinions. So basically, he sees his relationship as transactional. And then he had the audacity to admit that he feels that way. The therapist asks them to reflect on how their relationship used to be at the beginning. And he goes on to say that I was getting cuddled. She was cuddling me. She was kissing me and hold my hands. And I was getting regular physical affection. But now he feels rejected. Oh. He closes the therapy session with, I feel like this year has been one of the hardest of my life. And then he asks Yasmin, do you even find me attractive? The odd Thomas said she isn't going to be attracted to a man who feels like another child in the household. No, that a preach. If that ain't the truth right there, that's the truth. Nobody in their right mind, a woman worth her salt in the earth, is ever going to want to even feel like this is transactional. Because if we're going to do transactional, what are you bringing to the plate versus what I'm bringing to the plate? He says she makes double what he makes. And she doesn't have that attitude where that makes me better than my man. But when I find out the motherfucker is driving around the block and he's not going to work and he's been made redundant and his excuse is that he is sitting up in the house all day, you know what I'm saying, trying to look for a job, but you'd have been found one. I ain't got it to do with him at all. At all. Anyway, that is the end of my review on Blue Therapy, Season 1, Episode 4. Do you even find me attractive? Do you find a job attractive? How about that? Let's find out if you find employment attractive. Let's find out whether or not you find helping me take care of this baby is attractive. But one of the questions I'm wondering if she ever asked him and ever knew, what role does he play in his other child's life? The previous child that he has, the eldest. Until we get them answers, y'all check me out tomorrow for Blue Therapy, Season 1, Episode 5. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget, like Ray Della said, hit that thumbs button on your way out, hype, and share the video. I love y'all. Have a great night on purpose. Bye, y'all.